Yo, 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 yo. CTB, Chin Tuck Boxing. I'm your boy Jay Slay. Say what up to him, man.
What's up, everybody? Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, comment. You know why? Because we love boxing and you love boxing.
Most definitely, most definitely. This is the place where the fight fans come to get these delicious entrees of boxing knowledge. What's on the menu today, bro?
Let's talk about Errol Spence and the interesting tweet he put out last night.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If you haven't seen what he's talking about, apparently Errol Spence put out a tweet about, you said about 9 hours ago?
19 hours ago now.
About 19 hours ago. He said once he get this third belt, we'll see who holding up the fight. Who you assume he talking about when he made that statement?
Of course, he's talking about Terrence Crawford.
Of course, of course. So we don't know if the Ugas'S fight has been made yet to acquire that third belt. Or what? It's just kind of like a broad statement, but we know what he's talking about when he said it. We know that he's saying he's not holding up the fight. Crawford is holding up the fight. But I have a question. I got a kind of a question about that.
Okay.
I do remember one time, it was a while ago, maybe about 2-3 years ago. I do remember Spence saying that before the Crawford fight was made, he wanted to clean up his side of the street first. So would that be considered also Spence's fault for the fight not happening too? I'm not saying he was prolonging the fight per se, but he had an out on why he didn't want to fight right then. He wanted to clean his side of the street up first. We know Bob Burnham is in the way on Crawford's side, but was Spence side of the street also in the way at one point?
I say yeah to a certain point that Spence side of the street is in the way, but I think only because they made it easier to make the fight for undisputed because most of the other belts were on his side. So I felt like it just made more sense to, get the other belt, which was who did he get the belt from? He got the belt from
His very first belt?
not the first one, the second belt from Sean Porter. So
Yeah,
he got this.
got one from Sean Porter. He got
He got
one
one
from
from Sean Porter, and he got his first belt from Kia Books.
yeah.
He got it from Kia Book. He got the second belt from Sean Porter, which is on his side. And then you got Ugas'S, who is on his side of the street. And we talked about it plenty of times. When it comes to making a fight, it's always easier to make a fight in house. We know Top Rank likes to do their fights in house. I think every promotional company prefers to do fights in house. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Don't get me wrong. I think Top Rank is over the top with it, but I think all promotional banners like to do fights in house. So it just made more sense for him to get all the belts and for Terrence Crawford just to keep winning. And now if he can beat Ugas, it sets up a showdown for undisputed. And maybe we get lucky because maybe Top Rank won't even be in the equation, which will make the fight extremely easy to make.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with it. But if that's the case, then who do Crawford fight? Crawford can't sit on the shelf and wait. We made previous videos about him fighting possible Manny Pacquiao, but we both agreed that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We also made a post saying he should go ahead and fight Sean Porter. But is Ugas really going to fight Errol Spence? Because we heard the news saying that he was trying to price himself out of that fight, trying to make it a 50-50 fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave my opinion. My opinion was he was pricing himself out, and he was trying to reign as champion for a little while, like what most new champions want to do. So, what's the possibility of that fight even being made, even though they're on the same side of the street per se?
To me, I was feeling just like he was feeling. It was starting to worry me that Ugas was talking about getting a 50-50 split, and I was getting a little worried about that. But to me, Errol Spence is known for speaking in codes. So when he put out that tweet last night, it gave me some like reassurance that him and Ugas must be close to a deal, or maybe the deal is already finalized. Because when he said when I get this third belt, which means he would have to fight Ugas first. So for him to put it out in a tweet, it showed a lot of confidence to me that Errol Spence thinks that that fight is close to being made, which I hope it is. So we can get to the main fight, which is Terrence Crawford. As far as Terrence Crawford, who we gonna fight? I know they said something about Lopez, but Bomac kind of shot that down and said
Yes.
it's not true. So anybody out there thinking it's Lopez from Bomac, his own trainer said it's just bullshit. So don't worry about that. It looked like it's gonna be. I'm thinking Sean Porter. I hope he don't just fight a nobody. So because that would be interesting if he fights Sean Porter, like you said on our previous videos. It's gonna make the stakes higher, and also if by the way he performs on pay-per-view and in the ring, it could make that 60-40 split, which I think is a reasonable offer. He making even uh smaller the gap between how much he can get for a split. So that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think also there was rumors going on saying that if Ortiz beat Hooker this weekend, that Ortiz won that fight with Crawford also,
Okay.
which I also think is nonsense. But
You
we'll
think
see,
so?
man. I mean,
So
the time frame.
let me throw something at you then. So
Yeah,
if
what's up?
Ortiz fights Hooker and SA, man, he looks outstanding, and he just blows Hooker out the water in 4 or 5 rounds. He stops him. Bomac is the trainer of Hooker. After the fight, he kind of looks at Bomac and says, "All right, now I guess your secondary fight out of the way. Bring your boy Terrence Crawford here. I'm ready for him. What you gonna do? You don't think that could cause a little bit of maybe a build up or cause some momentum to maybe possibly make that fight and maybe the summer? Or you think Terrence Crawford just ain't interested in or Ortiz fight because it's really nothing to gain, everything to lose?"
Yeah, I agree with the latter. I think it's everything to gain, everything to lose, nothing to gain with that fight. I don't think number one, a lot of fans wouldn't give him credit for the fight anyway. They'll say that Ortiz was too green, that his resume is really not up to par. And
Mm-hmm.
even though Spence and not Spence, even though Crawford and Hooker are in the same camp, and I'm pretty sure they share the ring a lot with each other in sparring, don't mean you fighting Terrence Crawford. So even if you do look good against Hooker, that's still not Terrence Crawford, regardless. And I think a lot of people, well, a lot of this, going to Terrence Crawford real quick. I think a lot of people are forgetting his 140 range. A lot of people automatically jump to his welterweight range and forget all the work he put in before at 140, and they forget how deep his resume is compared to Aiden Ortiz, who pretty much is just now having a step up fight with Hooker. So I wouldn't mind the fight as a fight fan, just to see the styles clash, but it's not a. I would prefer the Porter fight. I prefer the Porter fight. I figure he'll have more to gain on that fight than any other fight that could be made other than the Pacquiao fight. So that'd be the only fight I'll put over Porter is Pacquiao. And that's for Ugas. As for Errol Spence speaking in code, I mean Errol Spence can speak in code all you want. It's pretty much it takes two people to sign a contract. And if Ugas is firm on his 50-50, we know Spence not gonna pay him 50-50. If he did pay him 50-50, then his tweet kind of go out the window because he's saying we'll see who's held up for the fight. But if you pay Ugas 50-50, why the hell you ain't been paying Spence 50-50? So you know what I'm saying? So we know 50-50 out the window with it. We hope. You
Let
gotta
me
agree with
explain.
that.
Let me explain one thing about that though that a lot of people don't know, especially with PBC. Now, Ugas will probably be on regular TV, so it might be a little different when they fight. But I know a lot of people out there saying Sean Porter got 50-50. They both got a $2 million base split for the fight, for the pay-per-view fight. But people fail to realize, go back and look at the ring for the fight and watch the fight, even with Danny Garcia. The promotional banner that's on in the fight is Man Down Promotion. You know who owns Man Down Promotion? Errol Spence. Guess who got promotional fees for those fights? Errol Spence. Who you think is getting more of the back end money for that fight? Errol Spence. So sometimes when you see a base pay, oh, they got $2 million a piece, he went 50-50 with Sean Porter. He didn't go 50-50 with Sean Porter. I know people think that, but there's a whole lot more to the business side.
I don't think that was the room. I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't think nobody ever thought he gave Porter 50-50.
A lot of people. I've heard people talk about it.
I don't know who people thought that. Because Sean Porter, I think he only got like $2 million for that fight, but Spence wound up getting over $10 million for that fight. So it was nowhere near 50-50. So,
I know, but people looking at the base salary and they just go on that and say, oh, they got a base, but there's a whole lot of incentives on the back end that gave Spence that $10 million that people don't understand. But I just wanted to bring it up so people can understand a little bit better that it's more than just the base salary.
Yeah, me and you had this talk a long time ago too. I hate pocket counting. I always hated it.
Yeah, I do too.
I never thought a man should count another man's pockets, but in today's era, it's become normal for fight fans to get included in negotiations when it comes to purse splits and A sides and all this other craziness with fights lately. So we got to watch pockets apparently, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's an interesting tweet, man. You know me, I love a good I ain't gonna say conspiracy theory, but I love a good temperature check. I'll call it a temperature check. He's checking the temperature of, you know what I'm saying, the Ugas's fight. And go ahead, what you about to say?
I'm gonna take it a little bit further. I'm gonna tell you on March the 18th. This is me predicting this. Remember this day. I'm gonna tell you right now. From that tweet, and that's how I feel about it. After Terrence Crawford fights who he's supposed to fight next, who I hope is Porter, and Errol Spence hopefully fight Ugas's. If he fights Ugas's, his next fight, I'm telling you that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford is going to be the next fight. I'm calling it now. That's only if Errol Spence fight Ugas's next. If he fight Ugas's next, I'm telling you, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is going to be the next fight in boxing. I think with the news, with the ESPN First Take, because he put he posted on Instagram on his story on that same day early in the morning. He posted what First Take had, what the biggest fight in boxing, and he posted it on his story because I think I think they lit a fire in his ass as like, man, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to be in one of the biggest fights in boxing history. So now I think that it gave him more of a drive to try to get this fight done because he knows the whole world knows this is the biggest fight in boxing. Yeah. So in my opinion, if he fight Ugas's next, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford will be the next fight, maybe by the end of the year. What do you think about what I just said?
I couldn't agree with that, but you forgetting a major part of that statement. They both got to win their fights.
Yeah. They got to win.
Beating Ugas's is not a guarantee.
Yeah, it ain't a guarantee.
Beating Porter ain't a guarantee.
Neither fight.
So I just would hate for this to be another Joshua Wilder situation where both fighters lose.
Another Charlo,
another Hurd Charlo. There's so many fights we can name of recent note. I gotta say a recent note because it didn't really happen back in the day like that. Back in the 90s, we never really had this level of problem where fighters didn't want to fight each other. So, I mean, this whole A-side conversation is really driving a lot of fights to go far away from people's primes before they actually get in the fight.
You think so? You think that with social media and with Twitter and Facebook and so many ways to find out information that maybe it's too much of the boxing business in the public, and maybe back in the day they had the same issues, but if you didn't hear it on TV, you just didn't know that these guys were negotiating or they was fussing over a split. So I'm not sure, because I was a lot younger back in the day, so I didn't care about that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But I'm thinking maybe it was the same problem then, but like you said, with social media and so many outlets that can report every little thing, and in so many ways for these athletes to throw stuff out there for us to react to, that could be a lot of the problem as far as getting these fights made.
It's not even that too. It's another thing too, because a lot of these fighters now are ordering their own promotional rights. So a lot of these fighters, they negotiating for themselves. They especially on this PBC side of it. they all own their promotional rights. Al
Yeah,
Haymon, is just an advisor and an advisor only. So
thank you.
they promote the fights themselves and get their promotional bracket. So with that comes a level of caution. I use caution.
Hmm.
You don't want as the more recognized fight and Spence, like say Spence is the A side in a Crawford fight. As the A side in that fight, you don't want to give up your promotional cut to the B side. You want everything
Hmm.
you deserve. You want the higher pay, everything, because you're promoting the fight. Crawford, the one who has to pay Barbarum to do his job for him. I agree with Spence. If I got to pay you a higher wage for you to pay your promoter, I might always keep that money for myself and pay myself as promoter if I'm the A
Yeah.
side. So with that being said, that's why a lot of fights are also been. I mean, I don't want to say it's a. I hate not hate. I won't want to say I blame Mayweather for that because I actually want more fighters to own their promotional rights.
Hmm.
But this is a part of the Mayweather's fallout. This is what Mayweather did. He taught fighters the game. He taught them the promotional game and how to cut the middleman out, which is the promoters. So yeah, that's why a lot of these fights are being tossed around like they are right now. Yeah. But man, we went all over the place with this video, man. This was a great
No,
video.
it was good though, man. We gave him a delicious entree, man. A
Yeah, that's how
boxing
we
knowledge.
do it. That's how we do it, man. It's the welterweight fight, man. We hungry for a real welterweight fight. We haven't had a real welterweight fight since early 2020, pretty much. So we've been waiting almost a year now for a top 5 battle in welterweight. So hopefully this Hooker and Ortiz fight will live up to the hype that we got. Because this guy every bit of top 10 in my book when it comes to
Hmm.
welterweight matches that could be made. So tomorrow we're doing a fight breakdown on that. After the weigh-ins, we're going to give you our opinion. We're going to break down the fight. We're going to let you know how we thought they looked doing weigh-ins and all that good jazz. So yeah, in the comment section, put in what you feel is the hold up for a lot of these big fights. Do you think Errol Spence is just uh, doing like a temperature check on the posts of the fight fans with that tweet? Let us know in the comment section, man. With that being said, this is CTB, Chin Tuck Boxing. I'm your boy Jay Slay. Cut him out of here, man.
All right, everybody. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, comment. Let's keep this channel growing. You know why? Because we love boxing and you love boxing. But most of all, peace and love, and we out of here.